Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are really zeroing in on the sources you provided that connect this incredibly lyrical, gentle image from the Christmas Carol, the two turtle doves,
Yeah.
and mapping that delicate pairing directly onto the, well, the towering, rigorous geometry of the Masonic Lodge.
It's a huge leap on the surface.
It is, and our sources suggest that this simple line from the second day of the carol is actually an entry point into one of the most fundamental concepts in esoteric tradition, which is duality. So our mission today is to figure out this paradox. How do two gentle, cooing symbols of purity relate to these colossal, imposing twin pillars of a temple?
And more importantly, why are they saying the exact same thing about cosmic polarity?
Exactly.
It's just a stunning example, isn't it? How ancient wisdom so often hides these profound truths in accessible everyday symbols. We start with turtle doves, this image of quiet fidelity, and suddenly we realize they're concealing a universal law.
So duality, let's define that for a second.
When we talk about duality, what we're really talking about is the foundational principle governing creation itself. It's the constant tension of opposites, light and dark, active and passive, expansion, contraction. And this isn't just about, consciousness or morals. It's structural. It's the core idea that necessitates the two great pillars at the very entrance of the lodge, Jachin and Boaz. They are the physical manifestation of this cosmic tension.
I love that. The gentle analog versus the structural manifestation. So let's start with the doves. Why turtle doves? I mean, they symbolize purity and peace across so many traditions, but why pick the weakest, most humble bird for such a huge idea? Why not two eagles?
That humbleness is absolutely the key. The sources really emphasize the biblical context. In the Hebrew Bible, turtle doves were sacrificial offerings for people who were too poor to afford a lamb.
Right.
So they immediately become these powerful emblems of humble devotion, the kind of sacrifice that's required of an initiate.
So it's not about strength, it's about sincerity.
Precisely. It sets a tone. This kind of balance isn't achieved through force. It's achieved through devotion. And then you see them in the Song of Solomon as symbols of love and renewal, and even tied to Aphrodite or Venus in older traditions. Divine relational love.
So their power isn't their size, it's the fact that they're a pair.
They are intrinsically a pair. And that pairing speaks to this attainable, gentle harmony. It represents an ideal union, or what esoteric traditions call the conjunctio.
Okay, the conjunctio. Break that down a little.
Think of it as the ultimate goal in mystical work. You have two distinct necessary forces, and they come together. They don't blend into one, that's not the point. They operate in perfect functional harmony.
So the doves are like the after picture. They're the result of successfully navigating duality.
They absolutely represent the achieved state of balance. And this is so vital for the Mason. It connects directly to the black and white checkered pavement of the lodge floor.
Oh.
Duality is never meant to be division that leads to conflict. It's the interplay, the necessary friction that leads to harmony and movement. If you separate the two turtle doves, the symbol breaks. If Jachin stands without Boaz, the structure collapses.
Which brings us perfectly to the architecture. We're moving from the gentle union to the massive structure. Okay, let's unpack the pillars that guard the threshold of the lodge. We know them as Jachin and Boaz. These are enormous. Can you walk us through what they mean?
They are cosmic principles made manifest in stone, sentinels. Jachin, the right-hand pillar, translates from Hebrew as he shall establish.
Establishment, okay.
And Boaz, the left-hand pillar, means in him is strength. Now, the sources assign these incredible cosmic qualities to each. Jachin is aligned with mercy, expansion, solar energy, you could say.
An active force.
An active force.
Yeah.
And Boaz signifies strength, judgment, the lunar receptive influence.
Okay, the sources also connect these to the Kabbalistic tree of life, calling them cheese and gevura. For someone who isn't steeped in Kabbalah, what does that translate to morally?
That's essential for understanding the balance. Keys is, well, it's mercy or loving kindness. Think of it as unconditional grace, unchecked creativity, just giving.
So pure expansion.
Pure expansion. And gevura is severity or judgment. It's the necessary force of constriction, of definition, of limits. It's what stops cheese from just becoming chaos.
I see.
So Jachin, or mercy, is the force that establishes the vision. But Boaz, strength, provides the structure and the boundaries to make sure that vision can actually stand.
That makes it so much clearer. You need the vision and the structure. Mercy and severity aren't opposites. They're partners.
Precisely. The entrance is incomplete without both. And the crucial insight here is that the two turtle doves serve as that soft, relatable analog for these columns. The doves show us that a relationship has to be both loving, which is Jachin, and resilient, which is Boaz.
Without that balance, no spiritual temple or any relationship really can stand.
Exactly. And once you see it, you realize this geometry of balance permeates the entire lodge. It's in every moral choice, the pull between earthly and spiritual duties, labor and rest, even the pairing of officers.
It's everywhere.
And that geometry brings us to the next phase of the journey. The number 2, here's where it gets really interesting for the initiate.
Go on.
The number 2 corresponds to the fellowcraft degree. The entered apprentice degree is about symbolic birth, moral preparation. It's focused inward on the self, the one.
So the first degree is the foundation. The second degree, then, is moving from that potential into active polarity.
You got it. It's about taking that moral self and applying it to the dualistic world.
Wow.
The fellowcraft degree is the ascent into intellectual understanding, geometry, the application of all that knowledge. And the transition is a physical one. It's represented by the movement between the two pillars, a passage from ignorance to understanding.
A sacred passage.
It is. And the sources are clear that the challenge here is learning to navigate this dualism without falling into what they call false dichotomies.
Meaning you can't just pick a side.
You can't. The temptation is always to choose only mercy or only strength. But the lesson is that those extremes fail. Pure mercy is anarchy. Pure severity is tyranny.
So the mandate is the middle path. You can't just pick Jachin and ignore Boaz. You have to walk right between them.
That's the central challenge. Balancing the material and spiritual, faith and reason, personal ambition, and your duty to humanity. You have to live in that powerful gray area between the black and white tiles.
And that tension isn't the final goal.
No, it's a temporary state that has to be resolved for true growth, which elevates the whole concept to the esoteric level, to the conjunctio oppositorum, the final union of opposites.
We see this in other traditions, right?
All over. In Hermetic and alchemical traditions, it's the alchemical wedding of the king and queen, the sun and the moon. The polarities aren't meant to stay opposed. They have to be actively reconciled. That's what creates transformation.
So the goal isn't just standing between the pillars, it's passing through them.
It's using them as a gateway, ascending, metaphorically, into the middle chamber, the Holy of Holies. The passage between them represents a synthesis of the two extremes.
Let's bring it back to Kabbalah for a second, the divine two.
Right. Chakma and Bina. Wisdom and understanding. Chakma wisdom is the active, expansive principle, the raw idea.
A spark.
The spark. And Bina understanding is the receptive, constrictive principle. It's the form that contains the idea. This dualistic dance, the idea being contained by understanding, is what births creation itself. You need both for anything real to come into being.
And it's just beautiful to realize that the two turtle doves are this quiet, persistent icon of that ultimate union. They gently remind you that this grand cosmic path requires, quiet fidelity and inner harmony, not just grand gestures.
Absolutely. And once you have this framework, you see duality everywhere. Male and female, light and shadow, breathing in and breathing out. It is the heartbeat of the cosmos. The question is how we react to it.
How so?
Well, duality without awareness just leads to conflict. Us versus them. But duality with awareness leads to balance and growth because you recognize the opposing force is necessary. It's not hostile.
That brings this whole thing down to a very personal level. The doves are an invitation to reflect on our own balance. Are we balancing reason and emotion, justice and mercy?
Or are we walking the middle path?
And there's one last urgent symbol attached to the dove, the peace bearer. The image from Noah, returning with the olive branch.
That image is so profound. It symbolizes hope and renewal after destruction, which is itself caused by imbalance.
And the source material says the initiate is called to be a dove in the world.
That's the duty, to embody harmony, to bring peace through understanding, and to make sure the lodge, and by extension our communities, are sanctuaries of unity amidst diversity.
Oh.
Living proof that different forces can exist together in productive harmony.
So it means true endeavor isn't done in isolation.
Not at all. Like the turtle doves, we journey in pairs. We offer support. We practice mutual understanding, not domination. The strength of the temple rests on that constantly renewed, balanced duality.
An incredible journey. The two turtle doves are so much more than a carol lyric. They're these dynamic emblems of cosmic rhythm, initiatic growth, and the highest spiritual task, reconciling opposites, all made manifest in Jachin and Boaz. So what does this all mean for you listening right now?
It means that every time you face an opposing viewpoint or an ideological conflict, or even a tension in your own life between the need for structure and the need for grace, you are standing between those two pillars.
Jachin and Boaz.
So the final thought is this: if you intentionally seek the balance point, not just tolerance, but actual reconciliation, how might that change the outcome of your relationships, your debates? How might it favor transformation over just winning?
A profound thought on the necessity of that middle path. Thank you for sharing the sources that allowed us to take this deep dive.
My pleasure.